As you see, I'm back out here today with another bike, going back to the roots. Gonna try to stay away from boats from now on. That was a whole pain. This here is a 2013 RMZ 250. Got it for $650 from a guy that I actually went to school with. He works on racers' bikes and whatnot, and this guy sold it to him because it needed some work that he didn't want to pay for. The guy that I went to school with would have fixed it, but he races himself. He's got small kids that run around, and he just didn't really have time. So I'm going to take you for a walk around, and then we'll take it in the garage and figure out what's going on. So overall, the bike looks to be in fairly decent shape. Tires are good, grips are good, plastics look good. Small rip in the seat here. I'll get out of the way so you can actually see it. Both of the tires look decent. It's gonna need chain and sprockets. The front sprocket is basically gone. I think that's all right there. I'm not totally sure. Front and rear suspension need to be going through. The front's leaking, the rear is just basically gone. It looks to have some kind of upgraded clamp here, and it's got the Öhlins shock in the rear. I don't know if those come stock or not. I don't figure, but either way, pretty nice upgrades. If not, the guy I got it from said it needed a head. I just assumed it was locked up. It's actually not. It'll turn over. He said when he tore it apart, something with the cams and the journals. I guess maybe ran low on oil and burnt them up or something. So we're gonna tear into this thing and see what's going on. I'm actually gonna try to format these videos different for a little bit, just to see how I like doing it like this. So let's get into it. I have no reason to believe that he would have lied to me about what exactly was wrong. So that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to take the seat off, tank off, valve cover, and we're just going to see how bad the cams and all that are. Hopefully it's not too bad. Maybe we can just kind of deburr it a little bit, kind of like we did with the KX250F. Maybe that's all it needs. Air filter looks okay. It's not terrible. Doesn't look too bad. Pretty basic. It's kind of dry, but doesn't look super dirty. I just realized something. This bike is not carbureted. It's fuel injected. Wow. That's a great thing, especially because I didn't realize it. I don't know why it took me this long to figure that out, but I was like, something looks different. Yeah, that's what it is. It's fuel injected. Huh. I gotta remember how to get these connectors off of there. This is going to be the second fuel injected bike that I've worked on, alongside the 2016 CBR 300R. Alright, take the valve cover off now and let's see what's happening in here. Hopefully nothing major. If so, you know, just gotta buy a head and probably some cams and whatnot, but hopefully that's not the case, and we can just continue going without doing that. So I'm going to loosen up the cam chain tensioner. That way there's no tension on the chain whenever we go to take these out. It feels spring loaded. So maybe it's not the typical type. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Or the kind that I'm used to, at least. This is the tensioner. It's not the one where you have to put the screwdriver in there and loosen it like that. I don't think. I don't know that for certain, but I don't think. See if I can catch anything in there. I don't think so. Not worried about jumping timing. Alright, it's loose, so that was right. Cam caps are to come off. Lift right off. Okay, so looks like it's the back side of the cams. See, the cam cap sits here. There's nothing on these, but back here it's a little rough. It's really not that bad. Let me check the actual cams here. Yeah, they're still about like that too. It's very possible that I could just kind of deburr it and it'll roll like that. Question is, how bad's the actual head? Well, only one way to find out. We gotta pull the cams off. Obviously, we'll have to re-time this bike. He may not have timed it after he took it apart the first time either, so I don't know. Because I don't think that's why it stopped, if I had to guess. Yeah, it's a little... They're not terrible, though. But they are a little worn. The correct way to do it probably is to replace them. That's a little worrisome. That looks like retaining clips. But this one don't have one. And I don't just see it laying there. Let me grab my flashlight. Look and see if maybe I dropped it down in there. I don't see it. But it looks like there's definitely one supposed to be there. Nope, that's not it. That's just oil. Okay. Let me pull this cam out. Maybe I'm tripping and that's not... Yeah, no, there is one. So the head itself is actually good. Told me it needed a head, but... well, yeah, it's still kind of about the same, too, yeah. It's really not that bad, though. I don't know what kind of symptom this guy had for him to know that that's the problem. I don't see... I'm about to not see this cam chain. I don't see that retaining clip down in there. Like, at all. Interesting. Alrighty. Let me think about what I'm gonna do here. So the grooves on the head and the cams and the cam cap, they're pretty deep. I don't think I'm gonna be able to kind of like sand them off and clear it out without becoming out of spec. So we're probably gonna be replacing the head, the cams, and the cam cap. I have them all found on eBay. we'll see how that goes. We're going to continue with disassembly so we can get a full parts list and just be ready to put everything back together when it becomes time. And they should just slide right out. Then your sprocket slides right off. Yeah, that's pretty simple. Pretty simple getting it out. Wasn't too bad. It's been a while since I've been able to work on this bike. I don't exactly know what the last thing I did was. Pretty sure it was just taking the forks off and the rear shock off. It looks like that's the only other thing that I needed to take off to tear apart so we could get stuff ordered. So I'm just going to continue on. We're going to start with forks, tear them apart, and then we'll move on to the rear shock. And then this whole thing should come out. There's the spring. Oh, that's dirty. Got it. There we go. That thing was in there. So it's been a few days, and I've done some research and whatnot. I'm not going to be able to rebuild the shock on my own. There's an Öhlins dealer about an hour away, but they charge like $275 or more to rebuild this specific style of shock. So I'm not going to be rebuilding the shock. I'm going to buy a used stock one on eBay. I can get them close to $100. Even if that shock's blown and I have to rebuild it, it's cheaper than $275. So maybe I can use this one on another build one day when it doesn't need as much work, but it needs a little bit of boost in price for whatever reason. You know, hopefully I can do that. Or maybe I just sell it as a unit that needs a rebuild on eBay and just recoup cost of the shock later on. But that's going to be it for part one. Part two will be reassembly, and then I'll have a full build video encompassing everything that we've done all in one. That way you don't have to go into two different parts if you don't want to. And then the dirt dive like usual. But since it's all tore down, I can't do anything else until some parts come in. I'm going to go ahead and order those. And that'll be it. If you've enjoyed this so far, please leave a like and subscribe. Stay tuned for the actual reassembly of this bike. And I'll see you in the next one.